In this video, I am going to solve a real-world problem using integrals. So let's say we have an object that moves along a straight line and it has a velocity as a function of time given by this. V of t is equal to t squared minus 2t minus 3. If we factor it, by the way, just to let you know, we are going to get t minus 3 times t plus 1. And you know how to factor it. So what we want to do, we want to find out what is the displacement of the object. So part A, displacement or the net change in position. Displacement of the object, let's say between 1 and 5. Okay, so in essence, what we are going to do, we are going to find the change in position for the object during the time 1 to 5. Now, just as a side note, if the position of an object is given as a function of time by the function s of t, then the derivative of it, d over dt, is actually the velocity of the object, v of t. So now if we are to integrate these two things with respect to t, integrate it with respect to t, then we're going to find s of t. Okay, and it's an indefinite integral, so there will be an arbitrary constant that has to be found out by the initial conditions. But for the time being, let's say we ignore that part. So let's do the integral. So if we take the integral of t squared, that's going to give me t cubed over 3, and minus integral of 2t is just t squared because it's 2 times t squared over 2, so that's going to cancel out. And then integral of negative 3 is going to be just negative 3t. So that's the position function. So as a function of time, the position of the object will be given by this. Now we want to find that net displacement, okay, over some interval. So that's going to be integral 1 to 5 in our case, okay, integral v of t, okay, v of t dt. But we already found that integral, which is t cubed over 3 minus t squared minus 3t. And that, by the way, needs to be evaluated from 1 to 5. If I do that, I'm going to get 5 cubed over 3 by plugging 5 here and then plugging 5 here and here. That's going to give me negative 25 minus 15. Okay, that's just from this 5. And then from 1, I'm going to get 1 over 3 minus 1 minus 3. 1 over 3 minus 1 minus 3, right. If I simplify it, I'm going to get 125 over 3 minus 40. Minus 40 is, by the way, the same as 120 over 3 minus 1/3. And then this negative has to be distributed to this. So positive 1 and positive 3, there's going to be positive 4, which is 12 over 3. And why did I do that? So that I can simplify everything. So what do I get? 5, 4, 16. So it's going to be 16 over 3 units displacement, whatever your unit may be. So that's one thing. The other thing that I kind of want to answer is this. What is the total distance traveled, or not the net displacement which you get here, but the actual displacement. So an object could be moving along the straight line this way, then suddenly maybe it changes its direction, moves this way, then maybe goes back. So we want to find the total distance traveled. Now for that, we kind of have to look at the v of t slightly differently. V of t is equal to t minus 3 times t plus 1. Note, this function or these two factors are going to give you a negative number when t is between 0 and 3. If t is an element of 0 and 3, then you're going to get v negative. So to find the distance traveled during that time, what we have to do, we are going to have to take that negative into consideration. Okay, and the way we do it, we kind of take the absolute value of v of t. So integral 1 to 5 absolute value of v of t, okay, dt, which by the way from 0 to 3, from 1 to 3 is going to be negative. So from 1 to 3, so put a negative sign in front of it. Okay, two negatives are going to make it positive. So v of t dt plus from 3 to 5 v of t dt. Now we need to evaluate these things, by the way. We already know the integral vt dt, which is, by the way, where is it? This guy, right? So right here we have it. So for the first one, we just need to introduce the negative sign in front of it. So that's going to give me the following. Negative t cube over 3 plus t square plus 3t, all of it evaluated from 1 to 3. Then with that, I'm going to add the regular one. This one is positive. This one is negative, remember. It's going to be t cube over 3 minus t square minus 3t evaluated from 3 to 5. Now, this is something you can do. I can trust you that. Just plug in 3 for t, and whatever number you get from that you subtract when you plug in 1 for t. And similarly for this one. If you do all of this, the number comes out to be, by the way, 16. Okay, or 16 units trouble. So that's how you'll find this. I hope that this discussion was helpful. Thank you very much.